Hey, what's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Checkup Podcast featuring myself, Monty, and my man AC, bro. How are you doing today, man?
Bro, I'm great. I'm great, Dad. Bro, I'm great, bro. I'm sorry. A little slip up, bro.
You
Man. It's
good?
a blessed Sunday. I don't know. It's been a while, bro. I'm glad to be back, though, man. It's been some crazy season with the NBA. Again, we got some news to talk about, so I'm just excited to be back on our platform.
Yeah, most definitely, man. How you feeling about the All Star? I know we're coming up with the draft for this coming week, bro. Just wanted to see what your thoughts were on, starters. Obviously, we got some reserves, some first timers in there too. Very well deserving people for sure. What you thinking, man?
I always love this time of year. You always get to see the unique storylines. The guys finally getting their appreciation or the due flowers.
Mhm.
It's good to see when the coaches, obviously, because they vote on the reserves, how they get to choose and prioritize what they see in players and winning on the teams they play as they go out throughout the season. Nothing really jumps out for me with the starters. It's kind of all the guys you kind of expect. Everyone's pretty much having great years. I know some people had a little issue with Andrew Wiggins being a starter. I could
Yeah,
go
I
either
kind of
way.
did. Yeah,
There's a reason why it's an All-Star game. 50% of the fan vote exists, and at the end of the day, Bay Area fans they vote, man. So they got their guy in at the starting position. I had a little gripe with Chris Middleton as a position player for the reserves. I don't feel like he's had
I
that great of
agree.
a year for a guy that's primarily a scorer. For a team, the Milwaukee Bucks are kind of floating somewhere in the middle of the pack with the season so far. I feel like a guy maybe like LaMelo Ball or even Jaylen Brown has been having a pretty good year. Could have took that spot, but that's not. It's like water under the bridge. I'm really excited to see how Durant is going to pick his team since he's not going to be available for this year's All Star game with that
This is
injury he's
last
been
year.
out for, and also who the player that the NBA commissioner Adam Silver is going to choose to replace him, along with Draymond Green, who is also scheduled to be out during the All Star game, which could make some difference. From what we can see, the East has a lot of East reserves team is really small. There's no size. Guys like Jared Allen, the people they were talking about, were snubbed. Was having a career year. Definitely, is making a big impact on that Cleveland team. He might be a guy that gets that reserve spot. Is definitely deserving of it.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
so definitely looking forward to figuring out who's going to get those spots left, because there's always some kind of snub that's there. Everyone's doing what they best they can
Everybody
do.
has peak performances and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. But shout
Mhm.
out to my guy Devin Booker for making it first time, real raw
Yeah.
making it, not a reserve no more, man. So
Yeah.
glad he's been killing it, bro. So shout out to him. Shout out to Chris Paul as well, my guy, also making it for this year.
Mhm.
But no, it's gonna be
Solid
exciting.
backcourt duo.
Yeah, great backcourt. Number one in the league, man. Number one backcourt in the league.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I'm really, and we got my boy Monty Williams as head coach. For the West Side.
Yeah,
So
Monty and then Eric Spoelstra's on the East.
we
Hmm.
we repping hard in Cleveland this year, as far as the Phoenix Suns go. So I'm really excited to see some of my guys on the big stage, and then all the other festivities we're gonna have in that weekend. All Star Weekend. That's why the NBA is, their mid-season festivities are better than the NFL's. You get that. It's a weekend. A Pro Bowl. I mean, it's like they make it into a weekend, bro. But it's really you only really watch one thing, and that's the Pro Bowl if you watch it. But we got the whole
Hmm.
weekend, man. I'm really hoping they announce the 3-point contest, contestants soon, man, because that's gonna be really interesting. But we already got the dunk contest participants out right now. We got
Yeah.
from the Warriors, Juan Toscano Anderson. We got from the Orlando Magic, Cole Anthony. From the Houston Rockets, Jalen Green. And then from the Knicks, Obi Toppin. Obi
Yeah.
Toppin is the only person
Pretty
that's participated
crazy.
before. So what
Hmm.
do you think going into it? We got about like 2 weeks projection. Who do you think's gonna make it to the? I'm not gonna make you pick a winner, but who do you think gonna make it to the top two?
I feel like it's gonna be Jalen Green and Obi Toppin. I feel like I don't know. Like I was telling you earlier, I was like Jalen Green's bounce is stupid nice, bro. Like he's crazy athletic. I just feel like him and Obi, obviously, I feel like are the more dominant playmakers, like of the flashy people. I mean, obviously, you could think like Juan Toscano Anderson. You kind of look at like he's not comparable at all to like Aaron Gordon, but like people were sleeping on Aaron Gordon until they realized how crazy his dunks were. But I really feel like at the end of it all, I feel like it'll probably be Obi. and Jalen Green. I mean, Obi has experience there too, like we talked about. So possibly Obi has the advantage. I'm not picking a winner though, like I said, because like I just don't think it could go either way, and you never know. Cole Anthony might could sleep in there too, and even Juan. But I'm just saying, like I really feel like Obi has the higher advantage out of all of them, just because he's been in that environment before. Obviously, probably be more comfortable, and I don't know. It'll be pretty interesting to see. Obviously, too, like you were talking about the 3-point contest. Um, I mean, we're probably confident maybe if Steph allows himself to do it, he'll be in it. And then obviously there'll be others too. But I mean, it's up in the air. You know what I'm saying? And then I just think like the whole All Star weekend, I feel like it's been getting a lot better now. They're they're not like timing everything and like not everything's on clock. Like it's like first to score this amount of points and respect, to Kobe, rest in peace, and his daughter and the people that lost their lives around that time. So I mean, it's more better. I feel like it's more competitive. Players are actually playing for some now because they have the incentive in there now too as well. Each player gets paid a certain amount for the win while also donating to charity. So I mean, it's very beneficial. I really do appreciate that. But like you said though, like the first timers and guys like I look at guys like Darius Garland, Fred VanVleet. Like Fred VanVleet's been in the league for not a long time, but he's been in the league a minute enough to where he's deserving because I mean it was
Undrafted.
yeah, he was undrafted, was in the G League, and then he was kind of basically the back curtain behind Kyle Lowry for all those years and DeMar DeRozan prior, but then he worked his way up. I mean, he's NBA champion, so I mean we got to respect him for that. And I mean, kudos to him. Like throw kudos to him. Kudos to Darius
Right.
Garland too. Well, especially being able to rep in Cleveland too, in your home arena too. So that's pretty good. It's kind of weird seeing like Cleveland good without LeBron, obviously, all this time. But I mean, the team is pretty exciting to watch and stuff too. I know Kevin Durant being out, possibly we could see maybe like a Jaylen Brown slide into the filler spot, not as a starter, obviously, but he could fill into as a reserve because obviously Kevin Durant won't be there. But it'll be pretty interesting to see because also too, like you said, Jared Allen, and I mean, there's a couple others possibly. You never know; they could slide maybe LaMelo in there, but I feel like Jared Allen was the biggest snub. I don't know. I don't know what you feel, but I feel like Jared Allen he's been having a pretty solid season so far.
No, I
I know,
definitely think he was the biggest snub, bro.
yeah,
Because they don't reward bigs, bro. Like I said, there's not a single
no,
big that was on the reserve team for the Eastern Conference. There's no one that's
mm,
over 6'8", 6'9" that's on that reserve team. They like
all
so.
guards, guard heavy, yeah.
It's all guards or forwards. So you want to just see some more respect. There are bigs that are elite level. He plays some of the best defense there is. Probably going to be first team. No, not first team. I'm talking about like all NBA, probably like third team for a center spot. Playing defense potentially with the way he does. So
Mm-hmm.
he definitely deserving. Hope he gets there. But Cleveland, man, as a city, obviously they're hosting the All-Star game this year, but they've got that city rocking with their basketball club, man. They're making moves.
Yeah,
And
for
they've got
sure.
a lot to talk about, going on in that city right now. Obviously talking about the first time since post LeBron been there. They made a trade today. They acquired
Karis
the
LeVert,
rights for Karis LeVert from the Indiana Pacers, giving up the rights to Ricky Rubio and for a first round pick and 2 second-round picks that will be set in the future. What's your
which isn't
first?
bad.
Which isn't. What do you? Who are you talking about? Which isn't bad for?
I mean, I don't know. I see it as an upgrade for Cleveland, obviously, but at the same time, too, though, like Rubio's obviously not playing, so it's kind of like you kind of still need to fill a spot either way. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Mhm.
But to me,
Indiana
I
doesn't know
mean,
what they're doing, though. Indiana doesn't know what they're
Indiana,
doing, like you said.
Indiana
They're
got
blowing
back.
the
They
team away.
got back a lottery projected 2022 pick, a first
Mhm.
round pick, and a 2 second-round picks. Yeah, no, it's a 2022 second round pick via Houston and a 2027 second round pick via Utah. No, this is a
Uh,
terrible trade, bro. This is like I
yeah.
know that
No,
you're
it is
selling.
for sure. It's a terrible trade for them. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I understand that they're selling. They're trying to just find. They're finally realizing that they cannot just consistently not get better without doing a full on rebuild, and they're just fleecing the office. I'm sure Miles Turner will be gone, or Sabonis will
Demontis
be gone,
or
and
Miles
one of the two is
Turner
gonna be
gone.
gone sooner or later. Um, and so Cleveland is a team that's reaping the benefits of it. Obviously, they got Rajon Rondo, so they can do okay without the presence of Ricky Rubio,
They got that
and
much depth. Yeah.
so this is a great trade for Cleveland. I'm really excited for what they do, but immediately when I saw this trade, I saw Darius Garland as an all-star, it just brought to my mind the problem and the mobility of what's going to happen with my guy Colin Sexton.
Colin
What
Sexton's getting shipped, bro. Colin
he's
Sexton in a year or two, he might be getting shipped, bro. I don't know how his contract is, but Colin Sexton's getting shipped, bro. I really feel like he's gonna get sent out, bro.
it's
He's not
no,
the guy.
he's and it bothers me, bro, because that's my guy, and I'm like,
Yeah,
yo,
he's nice. He's super nice.
I really want him to do well with Cleveland, bro. And so I started thinking like, what team? I think because his contract situation, he's going to be looking for an extension. I believe this offseason. And so
Yeah,
that's as good as gone. As
yeah.
far as what he was looking for before the season began, before the injury, before the ACL injury, before Darius Garland became All Star. So I was thinking like, what team needs a PG, bro? And I think depending on his humility, his ability to believe in himself, and what he determines is his actual worth between him, his family members, his agent, all that when it comes to the exorbitant amount of dollars it is. I think he should try to find himself either in Beantown in Boston, bro, or somewhere in New York in with the Knicks, bro, because those
Yeah.
teams need a guard that can score. They need a guard that can put the ball in the hole. Like, especially if I'm talking, I know the Celtics need more of a point guard that can run the team, obviously. And I think Colin has shown the ability to do that and then still be a third option as a scorer because they've got Tatum, they have Brown, and he would fit in with that kind of culture. But I also
Wouldn't be
think that he's
bad.
the kind of player that Tibbs would want, and playing for the Knicks, that's going to play all the minutes, that's going to be scrappy on defense, that's not afraid of the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. And they desperately. I mean, they can't rely on Derrick Rose for much longer as their starting point guard. And even if they
No.
did, they could maybe I would say keep you have him and RJ. Maybe have RJ at the one, have Colin at the two. Let Colin just be a two guard and just score. And I've seen him. He's got the ability to do that.
He's a good undersized two guard, in my opinion.
He's a bit
Like when he's playing
undersized, but
the two.
I
When he's
mean,
playing the two.
you see teams with undersized point guards right now. You got Dallas with Jalen Brunson as a starting undersized point guard, and they do
Yeah,
just
it's
fine.
fine.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
CJ's always been a starting undersized point guard.
Mm-hmm.
When Brooklyn plays, then they got Kyrie at the two. He's an undersized two guard. So there's ways that
It's a
you can
possibility that could work out for him. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
possibility wherever he wants to go. I feel like, yeah.
I think I think obviously because he is undersized, there's a limited places he can go. He's got to go places where there's already some established wings in place that can obviously
I feel
take
like
some of the
Boston
load.
would be a good fit for him though, because
I
Boston, like you
think
said, Boston has a dire need for a point guard, and if you're looking at the outlook of the future, I mean, we could say Marcus Smart will be there, but we can't depend on you can't depend on Marcus Smart every time, and then Dennis Schroeder, that like it no like it just like
Marcus is more of a two anyway. Like
yeah,
Marcus really
exactly.
belongs to the two.
So
Yeah.
and if you look at Colin Sexton, he'll push the ball, he'll defend, and he'll be able to create a shot. Like it's not like he's not capable to knock down a shot. So I mean, it will be a good fit, and like I feel like every time too, since obviously the Kyrie curse, they haven't had like that solidified point guard to be able to move the bridge for. Like obviously, yeah, Pritchard's solid, but he's not no star-studded point guard to where you know what I mean. He's a role player.
Nah,
He's a role player.
I know what you mean. I
He's
know
like
what
a
you
TJ
mean.
McConnell. He's kind of like a TJ McConnell. Like he'll do his role, he'll shoot his shots, and that's it. So
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
if
That's a
they
perfect example, bro.
yeah, so if they fill in the spots properly, but then too, you never know. They might try to go get a center too. So I mean, I don't. I don't know. It's
You
it's
you
it's
know, I
it's
think
weird with Boston all the
either
time.
one as a whole. It just depends on which direction the team wants to go. You know what I mean? Are you going to be more? Are you gonna
Would you
run
let
your?
go of JB though? That's just like curious. Like, would you let go of JB?
I'm not let no. The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
I
it's for
agree.
something of equal or greater value. And there's very little in the league right now
In
to
regards to a
me
forward or in regards to getting
in
another
regards
guard?
to a player in general. Like
Yeah,
right now Fords, I mean, obviously size still matters in the league. It's always mattered. Let's not get ahead of
especially in
ourselves.
the East. Especially in
It
the East too.
matters, okay? It matters.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me I've got a guy that can guard at least four positions from one to hit one to the four. He can't really guard the five, but one to four.
104, yeah, he can
is
versatile.
has improved every single year, and is and has always been the number 2 option. Like I don't.
Yeah,
There's very little to me that is equal trade value available for a guy like that. You don't hit on the trade. You don't hit in the draft twice in a row like that. And guys that
the
work
rarity,
together,
the rarity
and
of that,
and
yeah.
like it's rare. So what you would be giving up is kind of a. I don't think he's a generational talent or anything like that. I think is he a
No,
player that I think is he a player that could be a part of a championship team? Yeah, absolutely. I think that
yeah,
Jaylen Brown could do that. So I don't know if I'm Brooklyn. I mean, I don't know if I'm Boston, if I'm ready to jump ship. I think that you have I forget who the GM is, but they've had enough draft picks in the future. You got enough pieces as far as players that
Brad Stevens
some
is
youth.
running the
If you
team.
want to,
Yeah.
if you want to trade, a couple picks, Robert Williams or Payton or someone else off the bench and make a move, but you have to pick a direction. And maybe it is the problem in Boston where they're not able to develop or create that point guard. Well, then you should go to center route. You know what I mean? Like so, and just have a point guard whose job is as limited as possible, and run your offense through the paint. Run your offense through. You got JB and JT.
Because JT is becoming a
two
better
great post
playmaker as
players.
it progresses.
Yeah, they're great post players. They got the wings already, and then all you need is a really a game manager. And all you need is a game manager at that point. And I
Hmm.
think if you want to go out and try to get a game manager, who's the type of game manager that's probably available that's not getting PT right now, bro?
From a guard,
Yeah, guard.
yeah, there's a
I mean,
couple
it's
options you
kind
can
of
look
it's kind
at.
of slim pickings. I'm gonna think of one. It's gonna hit me, bro, because there's somebody that's out there that's not getting PT that could help them. I
Or
mean,
even like a 6-man option that can, or even a 6-man in the league right now that could potentially become a starting point guard, or I don't
yeah,
know. I don't
yeah.
know. I feel like JC. I feel like Jay Clarkson would be good there, but I don't know if Utah wants to just trade and ship out JC like that.
I don't think I don't. That's not. I don't think that's. I don't think that his skill set. I think he could do it. I don't think his personality and his head would be in
He
it. I
wants
mean,
to score. He wants to shoot
that's
mid
just
range
what he
shots
is.
the
Like,
whole game.
yeah, you know what I mean.
He likes to shoot, bro.
That would be 3 guys that all just want to score on one team.
Yeah,
Like, I
and
mean,
that
they
would
get
not work,
buckets,
especially
but
from the backcourt. Yeah,
yeah, you would probably you'd be the worst team in the league in assists. You'd be like have the
the transition
slowest.
would be lame. Yeah.
Yeah, you have like most time of possession or a ball held in one time or dribbles per
Hmm.
player. Like,
Their advanced stats, they would be like ranked in the bottom
yeah,
25th.
that
Like,
they
yeah.
would no, that wouldn't be a good thing. So
I
I
don't
know it's a
know.
delicate kind of thing. I think maybe look to the draft potentially, and obviously there's always prospects out there for potential players, G League players that are looking for that chance that could show that they can run a point for a starting team. So there's always things to be looking out for. I think even a player that was traded like in either it was 2 days ago, like Eric Bledsoe. And I'm not saying Eric Bledsoe is the star or gonna save Boston, but Eric Bledsoe for the price that he was sent off to Portland for, Boston could have had him and had him run the point and and help run to save the ship. And that's another team. The Pacers and the Portland Trailblazers are both
Or the
teams that have
Trailblazers need to blow their
zero
team up
idea
too.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I know he will never see this, but Damian Lillard, bro, there is a such thing as being loyal to a fault, my guy. And I understand it as a person that's deeply loyal, bro. Sometimes you can be loyal to something that's just not for you, and they just will never put you first, bro. This
Mhm.
organization will never put you first. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, they don't
It's
understand the
it's pretty
value of what they
pathetic.
have. They don't know. They don't know how to get value from what they have. They don't know how to trade for more value with what they are. Like nothing about this is positive, bro. And it's another season where they right now they're the 10th seed in the West, and I'm sitting as like this guy is telling his organization, "Yo, I just want to contend, bro. I don't want to leave. I just want to contend." And yet again, they put out, for lack of a better word, a crappy product, bro. This is a crappy product. Like, you shouldn't be proud of what you're putting on the basketball court right now. And then
Yeah.
you make a trade, and you let go of Robert Covington, and you let go of
Norman Powell, who they traded
Norman Powell,
for.
who you
They
traded
traded
for.
Gary Trent. They traded Gary Trent
So
and all these.
what
Yeah.
what was the point of trading Gary Trent? Gary Trent could have stayed on the team. Do you see what Gary Trent's doing in Toronto right now?
Yeah, he's a hitter,
Five
big
games
time
of
hitter,
averaging 30 in a row, shooting the lights out the
big
ball.
time hitter. Yeah.
Why did you trade Gary Trent away? Norman
Yeah.
Powell is a good player. I understand that, but you knew Norman Powell was
I feel like
undersized.
Gary Trent's ceiling is higher than Norman Powell's, though.
I think so too. But like, the mindset they explained was when they traded Norman Powell was we understand that he's undersized, but we're gonna just run with the 3-headed undersized kind of guy. And here we are a year later, and you've already abandoned ship of that idea. And to replace it, you got in return Eric Bledsoe and Justice Winslow and some draft capital. And how does that
They
help
basically
you
picked up facilitators who can defend, bro, and that's not going to help you win a championship or even contend in the future whatsoever. Yeah.
I just
There was no point of trade. Like, it just looks dumb on them now because it's like, why did you even trade Gary Trent? Gary Trent was playing pretty good basketball for the Portland Trailblazers before he got traded. The reason why they were able to make that trade happen is because Gary Trent was trustworthy enough to be a big-time player for them. And, like, it's just – I don't know. Like, I don't get why you would let that go. And obviously Robert Covington, like, he's cool. He could hit shots, but on a consistent level basis, though, like, you can't fully depend on him every single time. But he's a good defender, though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disrespecting Robert Covington whatsoever. But – it just makes you look dumb because it's like you let go of these players for what? Like I don't know. They don't have
no
sense of
clear
direction,
vision, bro. There's
There's
no
no clear
vision.
vision. There's no clear sense of direction.
They refuse. They refuse to like, and that's the thing that teams, organizations, and fans have to understand in this business. Everyone would ideally like to never hit the bottom. You never want to hit the bottom, but the truth is, the sooner you hit the bottom, the sooner you hit the top. Like, this is just usually how it goes. You have to be willing to let yourself go, to sell off your assets, to hit the bottom, hit that. I mean, I'm not saying that. I don't mean this literally in the way of tanking, but I mean it in the way of rebuilding and restarting. Like, you can't perpetually keep running out with the same key pieces and moving around, some of the outside things,
the role players basically,
the role players, and then you come back with the same product over and over and over. Your outliers eventually are your key pieces. Your key pieces gotta go. Your pace for the Pacers, Sabonis, Turner, somebody gotta go. The 2-man big does not work with them. They for some reason together do not work as far as converting
defensive and facilitator.
They've had multiple head coaches, bro. It's not gonna work. Let it go.
Yeah.
Portland, this 2-man backcourt of McCollum and Dame is not going to work as far as like making. Let it go. Like I
feel like CJ needs to get. I feel like CJ is the one that just needs to get sent.
He's 3 years past. Been trying to. He's 3 years overdue, bro. I've been saying he needed to be gone for 3 years now, bro.
Yeah, because he can carry the load. But
back when they lost to Drew Holiday in the first round, or was it the second round?
And was it against the Pelicans?
Yeah, and they got swept.
Oh, yeah, that was the year they were the 3 seed. They were the 3 seed, bro.
That was the year I knew.
I remember that year
I knew that CJ McCollum was not the guy, bro. I was like, it's just not. It's not going to work. And
Drew locked him up, though. He locked both. Yeah.
I mean, but that's because Drew's an elite level defender. Bro.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was on different time in that year, though. He was different.
That Pelicans team was pretty nasty, though. That Pelicans team was pretty nasty.
AD, man, that AD was different, bro. He was a monster.
Now. Yeah.
But we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like CJ. It's been time for CJ to get sent off, like you said. But I don't know. Like it's kind of weird, like what you would get out of that trade. But you just know it's time to let someone go. Like Dame, obviously, like he's gonna ride the loyal trail for however long. But I know I don't know. We're not NBA players, but I just know it's frustrating, bro. I know it's frustrating being
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, look, we saw what happened with James Harden, bro, and where he's at basically right now. But it's just tough. It's just tough situation because it's like you're like a really perennial point guard in the NBA, and like you're basically up there with like the likes of like obviously Steph and Ja and all these guys. But it's like you're not gonna get the shine because you guys are losing games. and it's like you're not making a shiftward movement for your team because your team is basically stagnant in the same spot, like you said.
Yeah.
Like the thing about Memphis, like Memphis is pretty good because John Morant's playing really good, but at the same time, everybody else on the team's developing too. Bane's pretty solid, Tillman, all those guys that they have that are young, Dylan Brooks, like Jaren Jackson, Brandon Clark, like all those guys are peaking upward. LaMelo Ball, like his team, they're peaking upward. All these guys are peaking. Like the Trailblazers have no one that's peaking like that, really. Obviously, like you have Dame, but at the
Anthony
same time,
Simons.
there's no. Yeah, Anthony Simons. Yeah, that is true.
That's it though.
But that's one guy though. Out
That's
of
one guy,
a
and that's
whole
it.
12-man roster, out of a whole 12, 15-man roster, like it's tough. And
Yeah.
so it's like it's been time. Like Nurkic is a solid center, but it's just like man, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like whatever with them, and it's pretty sad. Obviously, like the speculation too. Like I just brought up James Harden and stuff, and like their situation in Brooklyn's getting pretty tight and pretty tough right now. Obviously, they've been on a losing streak since Kevin Durant's been gone. How you feel about Brooklyn right now? It's tough, bro. It's kind of confusing, but I mean, it's something
I
like
think
I don't know.
I think this is like I think for the Brooklyn organization right now, their mindset is we just need to hold it together and get through the All-Star break. We just need to just bide our time and get through the All-Star break. 'Cause obviously, you know, they're working on creating a team that is basically a James Harden ran team that he didn't sign up for because he's running in every game in New York in New York by himself. There's no Kyrie, there's no KD. And then he's on the road and he's having to play with Kyrie. And now it's like, all right, you're not on ball all the time. Now you're kind of off guard, you know. And it's just, I think that's
which can be frustrating.
Yeah, it's in every game or you know home game, away game. I'm changing my role, you know, to you know benefit the team, and that would frustrate me too because I'm having to change a play style not only to adapt to each team we play, but to the location of where we're playing, and that's you know not exactly what I signed up for. I think
I agree.
You know, they've had a lot to deal with as far as injuries, COVID, whatnot. They're playing. They're running a lot of young guys. You know what I mean? Let's not.
Cam Thomas is a rookie. Yeah.
You know, let's not forget Cam Thomas is a rookie. Shout out Kessler Edwards. He went to college. My boy Daryl Polk at Pepperdine. So shout out to him. He's also a rookie, bro.
He's performing
these
too.
These guys are starting. They're Darion Sharp. They're starting and they're putting up mad minutes. And you're forgetting just because you have these three superstar level players on one team, in order for the team's cap to work, everybody else's playing on this team is not making a whole lot of money. So let's not get it understood. There's not a whole bunch of talent outside of those players. So when those players aren't available, you looking on guys that are rookies, looking on guys like Patty Mills, who chose to come to this team and was thinking in a smaller role, and now he's having to play like he was like the same way he was trying to run away from in San Antonio. Patty Mills didn't ask for this. Patty Mills wanted to like, yo, let me just, you know what I mean? Let me be Joe Harris's backup. Let me just come in. You know what I mean? Let me shoot the three.
They need Australia Patty right now.
Yeah, and in the Olympics, when he's scoring 40. Like, and I don't know.
It's tough.
Patty's up there in age, you know, so he's trying to do his thing. You got, you know what I mean? You got Claxton who doesn't have much of an offensive game.
He's been hurt too.
And he's been hurt too, but you know, he's still learning to get his offensive game in the NBA. The expectations that are surrounding the team because of their high profile players is coming with unfair scrutiny as to what the team can actually put on the court with what they're giving. You know what I mean? Like Steve Nash is doing what he can with what he's given. I'm not going to excuse the 9-game losing streak. I'm not going to give him a pass for that.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of tough though.
You're running with guys that are on two-way contracts that are starting, that are playing 25 plus minutes a night. Like that's in the mecca of basketball, where most of your games are on ESPN. Like that's tough. Like I'm not.
And they're playing over guys like Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge and all them too. Like because they're so like they're not old. Those guys are just not mobile. Yeah.
They can't even use Paul Millsap. He's waiting to be traded. You know, so
he doesn't fit. Yeah,
like. I can't. Obviously, I remember when we talked about Steve Nash getting hired, and I was like, oh, I want to see what he's going to do for a guy that had no coaching experience. He's just going to get a team that's basically just a green light. Anybody can coach his team, I think
Handcrafted.
now he's being able to prove himself. But at the same time, people are, the media and guys like. Okay, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent right now. I saw
No, you're good, bro.
Stephen A. Smith talk today or yesterday, and he's been talking about the Brooklyn Nets, and he's had this take on Kevin Durant and saying that if he's not able to get it done in Brooklyn, then the narrative about him is going to change as far as what he was able to do when he got his ring with Golden State and all that. And as a guy that really, as I grew into sports, I really enjoyed Stephen A. First of all, he needs to stop talking. Like, no disrespect. I don't mean this. I just mean he's like, I don't know if it's the new money he got from the contract he got paid, and now he has to talk about on TV for multiple different avenues all the time. But sometimes it feels like he's just talking because he's being paid to talk, and now he's doing things that are trying to get money and ratings. So I'm not gonna even entertain the point of what he's talking about. Obviously, Kevin Durant is a 2-time Finals MVP. Like, let's Finals. I was there. I won it. I was the. So we're not gonna act like he didn't do that.
He did.
People like that are part of the problem of why, this team is kind of, I think, probably struggling. You know what I mean? Like, you have to deal with the mental pressures of all that. Obviously, the NBA is difficult enough going out competing against teams every night that are trying to win for themselves, trying to feed their family, dudes fighting for roster spots, all that, etc. It's a hard league to be in, and Brooklyn's a hard city to play in. And then you got, the biggest people in media are going after your team, every day for X, Y, Z reasons, and whatnot. And you just sitting there just trying to do your best. You just trying to do what you can in that climate. So I'm not really worried about that team. I still think that they can weather the storm. I think Harden just needs
any team with Kevin Durant can weather. Yeah, I feel like healthy.
I just think Harden just needs, bro. Like, I think they just need to just look here and just say, Harden, look, all right, we gonna run this the same way we ran this, the way you ran it in Houston, bro. Okay, when Kyrie's available, Kyrie is your off guard. He's your Chris Paul. Okay, he'll be that guy. But it's just still you get majority of the touches, bro. You're running the pick and rolls, you're throwing the lobs, you're getting the free throws, you're drawing the fouls. Like, we're gonna run this the same. We're running the same MVP Harden style offense. Like, I don't care. Like, enough of this, because all this trying to and I knew this was gonna happen when they brought Kyrie back on a part-time basis, bro. Like, you can't. How does a guy part-time practice? How do you part-time?
It's hard. That's what I'm saying. There's no chemistry.
Play with it. Like, there is no chemistry. I gotta create a new game plan every game. You gotta hop on a new wave with us every time, and you see that. You see that. You go on a road. You go on a 5-game road trip,
and you're going against different teams every time too. Yeah.
Went on a 5-game road trip and came out winless. You know what I mean? And you had Kyrie for all them games. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. And he's only going to be available for, I think, 11 more games of the season, because there's
probably the All-Star break. We're halfway through almost.
Yeah, I think 19 more are left at home, 11 more on the road. So it's going to get really interesting. This team is, at this point, teetering on potentially being in that play-in spot if they keep sliding the way they do. The East is really compact. Everyone's, from down to the eighth spot is about 3 games back. So there's a lot of movement that's available to happen. So
I think it's funny too. Yeah, it's just funny too, because like we don't know how he was thinking, but obviously I feel like James Harden thought like, oh, I'm gonna come to Brooklyn and it's just gonna be like clear as day. Like, we're gonna have this crazy team where we're scoring the ball offensively. We don't got to worry about defense as much. And then we're just going to coast through the East. And it's like, that has not worked out whatsoever since they've been together.
Yeah.
Unfortunately though, I give slack sometimes a bit, because obviously Harden was injured with his hamstring, and you can only imagine how tough that might've been for him. But at the same time, like, you're healthy now. If you're the same James Harden that you were in Houston, you should be able to perform at a high level and be able to compete and not complain about, oh, I don't like living here. All of a sudden, taxes are too high. All of a sudden, all this stuff. But I mean, it's just media. You never know if that's true or not. But at the same time, though, my concern was, I feel as if though James Harden went to Brooklyn thinking that, oh yeah, this is gonna be my window to win a championship, and it's like, it's not looking like that at all right now.
I don't know. I mean, James Harden is a competitor at the end of the day. We know that for a fact.
For sure. Yeah.
Until we hear something from his mouth, I don't know if he really doesn't like living in Brooklyn. I don't think a guy that had a no trade clause would choose to go live somewhere. Let's be honest. you're an NBA player, okay? You've been in the league for years. You've been to Brooklyn many times. Like you know what the
He's
city's
been in
like.
New York,
You
period.
would
The
know if
East
you wanted
Coast,
to live
period.
there or not. So I'm not so
Yeah.
sure if you like after a year and a half, you're like, fam, I can't live here. I mean, it might be a legit reason. It might
It's his
not be.
antics. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that really is a trusted source or not to go with. So,
Yeah.
but end of the day, I mean, they were at the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I know how bad James wants to win that ring, get in the finals, bro, and show himself because he's that kind of player. I think once
And
he
he
gets the
deserves a
ring,
ring, bro. All he's
once
been
he wins the
through.
ring, and people actually sit back and finally allow themselves to appreciate that man is one of the greatest two guards of this generation, like
Yeah,
without question.
bro.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like
since Kobe, that's the greatest. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. Yeah, since Kobe stepped out the game, bro, that's the greatest two guard that's played basketball, bro. I'm so like
and
James
it's
Harden,
probably
he's
he's a solid
transcendent.
scorer.
He's
Yeah.
transcendent, man. Like, and I think all it's gonna take is winning a championship for people to finally just say, "Wow, I'm watching one of the greatest players of all time right now," and I hadn't been appreciating that. I didn't really watch. I didn't
Yeah.
appreciate the growth from OKC Harden to early Rockets Harden, MVP Harden to now we are where we are Harden. And that's why I'm excited for potentially where him finally finding a new team. Uh, I still think they can get it done this year. Anything
Yeah,
can happen.
there's
Just
a
like we
good
saw.
chance if they're healthy. Yeah.
Anything can happen. Playoff. We saw the playoffs last year, man. A whole bunch of teams had star players go down, mad key players go down. You never know what can happen. You never know what team is going to step up and catch
Mhm.
fire. So
Playoffs
they
a free
always say you
game.
got to be in it to win it, bro. You just got to be. You got
Mhm.
to get your dance ticket to get to win it. So we'll see. It might be their year this year, and if that happens, then this whole narrative changes. And then we got
Yeah.
Harden, taking on that player option and picking up that option and running it back for another
Getting
year,
paid.
and
Yeah.
so you got to see.
Yeah, and shout out to overall, just not talking about them. Shout out to the Eastern Conference though. The Eastern Conference is
For
way more
sure.
competitive because obviously, like in the past, we look at the West and be like, oh yeah, all
Mm-hmm.
these teams stand out, blah 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 blah. It's so tight to get in, but obviously the expansion of the play-in tournament has helped that too, beneficially and gratefully. I like the idea of it all, but like just the transcendence of Chicago and Philly, obviously competing without Ben and all these other teams like Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Like Milwaukee obviously has solidified themselves as a championship organization now. Like it's just crazy. Like it's just good seeing basketball like getting recognized in the East. Like the East is on ESPN just as much as the West is now. Like
Yep.
I mean, obviously, like we care about the West. Phoenix is there, Golden State, Lakers, Clippers, whatever, blah blah blah. But at the same time, like the East is like. I was just watching ESPN right now. Frontline was Chicago and Philly. Like that was a frontline thing that they talked about first thing. I was like, okay, like that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Like because I don't know, like I don't
It's
know,
not
like
it's not what we used to have, bro.
yeah, you're not used
It's
to
been a
seeing
while.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
been a
been
while.
very, very much a while. Obviously, like I look back, this is old, but like 2009, 2010, like back when the Magic were good, you had the Celtics,
Mm-hmm.
you had the Cleveland Cavs when LeBron was obviously still there, and then obviously the Heat days, and then the Pacers, all those good teams that they had. But like it just seems like basketball, like overall basketball's leveling out to all areas, not just one
Yeah.
sided, and then you got the East
Mm-hmm.
over here. Oh, it's whatever. So I mean, it's good overall. It's good, but like I don't know. Yesterday I
And
was watching the game.
it's
Yeah.
not all just major markets, bro. That's what I love too. We got small
Memphis
markets
is
that's
getting
coming
love for
up.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you got small markets coming up.
Mhm.
Milwaukee's a small market, Memphis is a small market,
Mhm.
Phoenix is a smaller market, than some of the other ones. So I love when Cleveland, small market. I love when those teams start to put together.
Charlotte, teams like
Charlotte,
those,
yeah,
yeah.
start to put
Mhm.
together a little culture, start building a new thing for their fans to really get behind and really rally
Mhm.
for. New heroes for kids to grow up and have legacies and stories to tell, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So I love that happening, man. And
Mhm.
I wish that ESPN would still do a better job of showing as many
Marketing
games
those
as they
teams.
should. There's a lot of teams that don't get a game on national television until they play another team. And obviously I understand that's politics and whatnot, and that's ratings and business and all that. But teams
Yeah.
like it's like the Minnesota Timberwolves, for example, are having a really really good year compared to most of the years. I think they're sitting sixth or seventh right now in the West right now, and don't get as many nationally televised games as they do. They got All Star Karl Anthony Towns that is, even though it isn't All Star, isn't getting talked about. You got
Yeah.
obviously D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards. guys that are just going to work, doing their thing, and not getting enough recognition because they're
Yeah,
not
I
on that
agree.
stage. They're not in that limelight. They're not in
They're
that
not
spotlight.
prime
Even though
time. Yeah.
they're in that same class with other guys that are being recognized. So I would just like to see a little bit more diversification, in the games that are put on. Obviously, you don't need to put on like Kings games, or like
They're lame.
or
Yeah.
Pittsburgh games. You don't got to do that, but you know what I mean. Like
Even if they're
do
playing a
more.
marquee team, though, put them on TV, though.
Yeah, put them on TV, man. Let us see what they got. What these organizations are working with. You know what I mean? Let me see what the Spurs doing with DeJounte Murray. Can I see a Spurs game on national television, bro?
Yeah.
I keep hearing about I have to
Because you
watch.
could post it on socials, yeah, but
Yeah, but I'm like another triple double from DeJounte Murray, but I'm like, fam, NBA, are you gonna put one of his games on national television? Can I
yeah.
see him, bro?
Mm-hmm.
So. I'm next season, bro. I'm getting NBA TV, fam.
You getting league pass? You buying league pass?
I'm
I'll
getting
go
league
half
pass,
with
bro.
you. We go
I'm
half. You
getting,
want to go half?
yeah, bro. We go. Yeah, we can
We
do
can go
that,
half
bro.
for sure.
Because
Yeah.
I'm tired of missing out on the games I want to be seeing, bro. Because they want to put them all on NBA TV or League Pass or whatever, man. I'm like, come on, man. Like, let me see the interesting matchups,
Mm-hmm. Instead of
Yeah.
us trying to bootleg and stream games, we could just watch them all for the
Yeah,
low.
like, I might as well, bro. Like I might as well. Like if we're gonna be still talking about this and like this is what we do, you might as well have access to as many games as possible, man.
No, yeah, for sure. Keep you up to date for sure. You want to wrap us up, man?
Yeah, well, obviously we're so grateful that you guys have been keeping up with us, watching, tuning in. If you are enjoying the content, make sure you leave a like. If you're on listening to it on the audio platforms, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed it, share with a friend or whatnot. But from on behalf of myself and Armani, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time.